What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. Got a video here today from Alpha Male. Men's rights activists put feminists in their place. Let's go.
I have said it once and I'll say it again. If you do not want your husband or your boyfriend to cheat, it's very simple what you need to do. Here are the 5 things, guys. Initiate intimacy. Don't make your man beg, okay? I mean, every day. Number 2, make sure there is a home-cooked meal on the table. If you guys don't live together, that's fine. You could bring him over some food to his house. Number 3, clean. Clean the house. Pop over to his house, surprise him, clean his house. Number 4, do his laundry. It is such a easy thing to do and could go a long way. Number 5, when he gets home, give him some peace and quiet. The last thing he wants is a chick that is nagging at him, complaining, asking him to do things that you know he's not gonna wanna do. So give him some peace and quiet. It's very simple, ladies. If you want to keep your man happy, do those 5 things.
In a rare moment of honest reflection, a woman has
Yeah, I mean, not much to say there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think she covered some of it, right? I think she covered a good portion. I wouldn't even go 5. I mean, just shut up and be his peace. Make sure that he's satisfied. Pause. Right. I have to get a soundboard. I don't know. We'll see. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll get a soundboard. I can have the shut up sound play. But yeah, I think that I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I think she covered it. But like I said, I wouldn't even say 5. You can probably knock down 2 of them and combine them. Men, we are not hard creatures to please. We're just not like women.
finally admitted what men have been saying all along, that modern women's failure to lock down and keep lasting relationships comes from this ridiculous, deeply ingrained belief that they can do no wrong. They think they're perfect, untouchable, and somehow it's always the guy's fault when things go south. But here's the harsh truth. This entitled mindset is a ticking time bomb. Women expect men to be their emotional crutch, moral compass, and personal ATM, all while offering next to nothing in return. What do they expect? Men are getting fed up with being used, and they're checking out. This isn't rocket science. Women are finally waking up to the fact that their attitudes are part of the problem. Relationships are falling apart because men are done with this one-sided deal where they're expected to give and give while women just sit there, hands out, offering nothing but complaints in return. And guess what? Men aren't committing anymore, and for damn good reason. Why would they? Who wants to sign up for a relationship where they're the only one pulling their weight? The realization is finally hitting some women. If you keep expecting everything while giving nothing back, men will walk. They're tired of being the ones who have to carry the emotional, moral, and financial load while getting absolutely nothing in return. If you're wondering why men are leaving, here's your answer. Relationships without reciprocity are a dead-end road, and men have figured it out.
How many hours do you work, Eric?
60 hours a week.
60 hours a week. And how many hours do you work at home?
The same. More. All day, all night.
Really? And then you woke up and realised you were dreaming, you mean?
But my day doesn't end sometimes.
What do you mean your day don't end? It don't bloody begin. You spent time on the phone. You spent time just walking around the house, up and down. You spent time walking back and forth from a dining table with your kids. I don't know what you do with your hours. But I tell you one thing as a woman, if my husband's working, I do want to make sure that I'm doing what I should be doing at home. And if now I'm making you think about that, because this is the first time I've seen you become emotional, because it's the first time you've even had to sit and think about your actions. You're right.
want to point one thing out really quickly before we get back to her. And well, she's really crying, right? So there's some tears there, as opposed to some of the other videos we watch where there's just no tears, right? But I always want to point out how, you know, women, when it comes to their man, and I'm assuming these two are married, they never listen to what the man has to say. I'm almost certain that her husband has said time and time again, look, he's doing this. He's working 60 hours a week. He probably just wants some peace. Probably wants to clap them cheeks when he gets home. And that's it, right? Keep the kids fed. Make sure the house is clean. That's it, right? But women tend to like that comparative struggle. And I understand it, right? They're not as strong as men. They don't really have some of that proudness that men have. They got to wait for men to come home to move stuff around and do things like that. So some of that I can understand, right? Why they want that comparative struggle. But it's like, ma'am, you're married. It seems like she's a housewife. You got things laid out for you. Just ride it out till you hit the ground. Just ride it out till you hit that ground. That's it. That's all you got to do. But they can't, because in their mind, they all bosses. They all queens. If everybody's a queen, then nobody's a queen. So no, ma'am, you're not. Just ride it out with your husband and your kids. Get some grandkids in your 50s and 60s and enjoy your life. That's it, right? You're not going to be CEO of AT&T. It's just probably not going to happen. Goodness.
This sudden moment of self-awareness is long overdue. Honestly, it's about time. It marks a major shift in the messed up gender dynamics we've been living with. For once, women are waking up and realizing that, shockingly, relationships require more than just taking, expecting, and playing the victim. Mutual respect, reciprocity, and emotional intelligence? Yeah, those are the real cornerstones of healthy, lasting relationships.
Right.
Not just demanding men cater to their every whim.
Right.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon is rich. If you're rich, hold on a second. Yeah, they do. If you're rich, the rules are different on every level of life. But if you're not rich, fucking stay in your lane, okay? Tired of these fucking regular guys thinking they can play a rich person's game. You can't.
Well, yeah.
If you're not rich, you can't cheat, okay? You can't do a lot of shit. Just fucking stay in your lane. Oh, life is hard. Oh, life sucks. Yeah, for everyone, okay? For everyone. Fuck, man. Some people just got luckier than others. What can I tell you? I don't know. Like, it's just annoying.
Let's be brutally honest. Modern
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I mean, she's basically saying what I think a lot of people understand, right? That there's certain rules for certain men, right? So I'm not totally mad at that, right? Like, there's certain rules for certain men. Again, I go back to when the whole Joy Taylor thing was going on, when she said, I got to clip that one once I get my soundboard, where she said, fine, funny, effing money, right? If he has those things, women tend to throw all boundaries out the window, right? And money is a big part of it. So guys like Nick Cannon, who are rich, and, you know, obviously he has all these kids. Same thing with Cam Newton. I know Cam Newton's probably not the greatest example. I've seen stories of him talking about how he's broke, but again, there's different rules for different men. And, you know, if you're attractive, if you have the status, if you're tall, if if you're an athlete, things like that, right? As opposed to just a regular degular guy who's just going, to his job 9 to 5, coming home, taking care of his business, paying bills, going to work, doing what he needs to do, right? Rules for that guy are not going to be the same as rules for somebody who's of a higher status. And I think men know that. She just said it, right? She just said it. If you're not rich, you can't cheat. I mean, I just want men to understand, these women do not like you. They don't. They don't care.
relationships are looking more like one-way streets, with women constantly taking without giving a damn thing in return. They've set themselves up as perpetual dependents, expecting men to hand over their time, energy, and resources while barely lifting a finger to contribute.
Right.
It's a joke, really. Men are fed up with this lopsided game, where they're treated like ATMs and emotional babysitters, expected to provide for every need, yet never see any reciprocation. The imbalance is glaring, and men are finally catching on. Our efforts go unnoticed, unappreciated, and taken for granted. And who wouldn't be disillusioned by that? The idea that men should just keep giving, giving, and giving while getting absolutely nothing in return is ridiculous. This isn't a relationship, it's exploitation. Modern gender dynamics have turned into a bad deal for men, plain and simple. Men are starting to wake up, realizing that this constant drain on their energy and emotional well-being isn't worth it. The second you realize you're being used as a human wallet or emotional crutch, what's the smart move? You pull the plug and walk away. It's self-preservation at this point. Why stay in a setup where you're always giving and never getting? Men are done with being taken advantage of, while women prioritize their own needs and leave us with the scraps. This isn't a partnership, it's parasitism, and the picture it paints of today's relationships is nothing short of toxic.
All right.
If my man doesn't like it, then I'm not doing it. Let me rewind. If my man does not like it, then I'm not doing it. And I know some of the younger generation might be screaming right now, but hear me out. That's my man. That's my heart and soul, my best friend. He is my partner. We are in this together forever. And I don't know where it got lost, but your partner, spouse, husband, wife, they're supposed to be up here, above almost everything else, including yourself. So I know that if he doesn't want me to do something, he has a good reason for it. And I know that he has my best interest at heart, just like I do for him. So I can be independent, opinionated, and be my own woman while still respecting and listening to my man.
This advice for modern women is invaluable if taken seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some good points. But I think also, I mean, she knows where it went wrong. She just doesn't want to hurt women's feelings, right? She knows exactly where it went all wrong. And again, right, using words like partner and all this other stuff, right? That's where it goes wrong, ma'am. But you know, I think she had some really good points. But are modern women going to listen to her? Most likely not, right? Because she's not catering to them. She's not saying things that they want to hear. She's not giving them the bubblegum talk, right? The candy talk, the things that sound and it feels good, right? So, I mean, sound advice, but it's most likely going to fall on deaf ears for modern women because they don't care.
Adhering to it can lead to a healthy, fulfilling life alongside their partners and help ward off loneliness in later years. Women can cultivate lasting and meaningful relationships by embracing mutual respect, reciprocity, and emotional intelligence. This approach not only strengthens bonds, but also fosters a sense of shared purpose and companionship, ensuring a brighter future for both individuals involved.
Followers over this, and oh well. My husband is right all of the time. Yeah, you heard me say it. He is right all of the time. I don't mean just like, oh, he was right about something small or this or that. No, he is right about everything. When I was talking about quitting my job back in November, December, and I was so against it, he talked me into it, basically. He was my voice of reason. He is always my voice of reason. That man knows better. He knows so much more than people give credit. It does not have to be anything big. It could be a small situation, but that man is always right, all of the time. I don't hear any females saying that on this platform, or any
And you
platform
won't.
for that matter.
They don't say it because they're too...
A woman who gets it does.
I mean, and they won't, right? I bet you these last two women, and shout out to them. I mean, shout out to them big time. But I bet you they from small cities. I'd be hard pressed to find out if those women were from like major cities, right? But anyhow, I think that Yeah, I mean, she's right. But how many modern women are taught to listen to their man, right? To take direction from their man, to take guidance from their man, right? Most of them aren't taught that way. Most of them are taught to be loud and outspoken and wrong and belligerent and unruly and speak their mind all the time and just be wild, right? So, yeah, sound advice. I mean, from the last two women, really good talking points. But again, are women going to listen to them? And I'd be curious to find out if those last two women, if they were raised to be like that, right? Because that's where you have to start it, right? They have to be raised like that. It's not going to happen if she was raised her whole life to just be wild and independent and only dependent on herself, for her to flip a switch, right? And be like, oh yeah, she'll listen to her man now. I think that's unlikely, right? That's unlikely. I think women have to be raised like that from childhood. Like, listen to men, right? Or to your husband, right? Listen to your husband. So, yeah, good points though. Good points.
Doesn't just see her husband as some dude hanging around the house.
Right.
She knows he's the driving force behind every major decision. She's smart enough to recognize that when she puts her trust in his judgment and lets him lead, her life transforms into something close to paradise. This isn't some outdated fairy tale. It's a partnership where respect and trust are the glue holding everything together. The truth is, when a woman stops treating her man like an extra piece of furniture and starts acknowledging him as the leader, everything clicks into place.
Oh my God, I'm right all the time and my husband's always wrong. That's disturbing to me. That's a weird energy to have. Your husband is a smart man. You might not think that. He's a smart guy. Give him more credit. Let your husband have an opinion. Is that crazy? No, because he's a person too. I come to my husband for advice, for everything, because he is my husband and my teammate and my life partner and my ride or die, because that man has a lot of really great values. He has a lot of really good life experiences. Granted, he's a 32-year-old operator in the same area that he grew up in, but he's been through a lot of stuff. And I take into account everything that man has been through and everything that his heart and his mind have been through.
Life stops being a constant power struggle and instead becomes a smooth, blissful ride. It's simple. When she values his role as the decision maker, she's not just keeping the peace. She's creating an environment where love, respect, and mutual goals thrive. This is the kind of marriage that takes both partners to the next level, where the mundane BS of daily life fades away, and suddenly you're living in a sanctuary of love, understanding, and shared dreams.
Yeah. I mean, again, shout out to these two women for, giving their perspectives. I think that, again, they have to be raised this way, because if she's a 25, 27, 30, 35-year-old boss queen, she ain't gonna be listening to her husband. He's just there for show. He's a boy toy. He's there as a retirement plan. And so I think that, they have to be raised like that. But yeah, shout out to her for giving that perspective in the woman previously. So it is possible, right? But majority of modern women like this? Do they think this way? No, they just don't, right? So it has to be a thing of ingraining it into their minds from an early age. So by the time she gets married, it's a given. She's going to listen to her husband. He is the leader of that family. That's it. That's it. It's not that hard. It's really not. It's not that hard, but women act like it is a challenge to find a man that they respect and will listen to. But they'll listen to everybody else. They'll listen to their bosses. They'll listen to their teachers, college professors, everybody else. But when it comes to their husband, the man that they are supposedly in love with, their best friend forever, they won't listen to him. They won't. But shout out to them. Guys, I think we are going to leave it there. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you like the content, subscribe, like, and comment down below. Until next time, eat well, sleep well, be well. I'll see you guys later. Peace.